Okay, now. Okay, so now we are finally live. Okay, so we can see the screen. Okay, so let's not spoil too much. Okay, so those will be the problems, but let's not spoil them too much just yet. Okay, okay, so now as our contestants have advertised this blog in Code Forces a week ago, we are going to have a lockout duel between those two very talented competitive programmers. Both of them are very good, especially at those kind of ad hoc problems, and they are also some of the most talented competitive programmers from, let's say, the younger generation. They both improved very fast. As you can see, our first contestant, Dominator069, in just, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, uh, he went from becoming a newbie to almost reaching Grandmaster. He hit International Master, but not Grandmaster just yet. And also TheScrasse, Valerio, he has a longer experience. He also went to IOI and he hit Grandmaster last year, and he's being also problem setting in a lot of contests. I think he had 2 or 3 rounds. Okay, so he had 2 rounds, and he has a lot of experience with these kind of problems as well. This duel is going to be, I think, a very exciting one. They will have 90 minutes to solve 6 problems from outcode the regular contests. I chose the problems in such a way that none of them have solved any of the problems before, and the format will be basically a lockout style format. We're going to have 6 problems, and each of them will be worth 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600 points. And whoever gets the most points wins. And the first player to hit, I think, 1100 points will win. And of course, if nobody hits 1100 points at the end of the 90 minutes, then the first player who hit the highest score first is going to win in case of a tie. But we will see how things unfold. Okay, now that we talked about the rules and we saw how things are going to evolve, uh, I would also want to let you know that I've been having a break from YouTube for a while, and hopefully this will be the beginning of my comeback in terms of YouTube videos, and I hope you will enjoy this local competition between those 2 contestants. Now let's see when we can start this contest. Okay, so uh, okay, so as you can see, both of the contestants are ready to begin. Okay, and that being said, okay, I will start giving the problems, and I will also put them in the chat according to the rules we already agreed with, and that should mark the beginning of our contest. Okay, with that being said, I will start the stopwatch. I will add 1 hour, 30 minutes, and something like 20 seconds, so that I will be able to put those problems in time. And let me put the problems according to the order. Okay, so basically, I chose the problems in such a way that nobody, none of them saw them before. And as we talk, they have around 1 hour and 30 minutes to get those done. And I will need to also watch for any potential solutions. And as we discuss the problems, we can discuss the ideas behind the problems. You can also ask me questions and any curiosity you might have during the contest. So good luck to both of the contestants. May the best contestant win, and let's see how things unfold. So First off, let's see whether they both got, well, okay, maybe we need to change the 100 points problems. Okay, sure. Uh, yeah, some small technical issues. Okay, I will choose quickly another problem. I had no way to know if the contestants saw any of the problems before, so uh, I I apologize for that small mistake. Okay. Uh, mm, okay, so I might need to change two problems. Okay, so I need to change the easy one and also, okay, 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 and for 400 points there has to be a yellow problem, and uh, I will add this problem without any particular bias or anything. Okay, and it shouldn't be featured in any of the lists if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 112. Okay, it doesn't seem to be there. Okay, so is everything right now? Okay, so I will also join in the meantime the Discord chat. Okay, so now we can finally start. So good luck and have fun. Now you have this time to set things up, and I will first look at the problems and then we will see how things unfold. Okay, let me also take the new problems for D and F so that I won't be looking at the old ones. Okay, and for A and D actually. Okay, okay, so 106C, 112D, and the other one should be fine. Okay, perfect. We are set up. Okay, so now let's start looking at the problems and then we will see what strategy will each of the contestants go to. For lockouts, there are several strategies we can use in order to get the highest number of points. Of course, it also depends on the difficulty of the problems. For example, yesterday, Dominator participated in the high school lockout contest, and I think he got the third place, if I'm not mistaken. So he did very well on yesterday's contest. Oh, he actually won. Wow, I must have mixed those things up. Yeah, so he actually won the contest. So good job to him. Hopefully for him, he will have the same performance today. But of course, the contestant he will be facing today, TheScrasse, is also very strong. So both of them have a good chance to win, in my opinion. And this is going to be a very exciting competition, in my opinion. Okay, so now let's look at the problems. So first off, we have a problem which is asking for, is giving the input and the output, and we have two programs. And for each of the program, we have an algorithm, and basically we want to construct an input in such a way that the difference between the values is equal to n, and n is up to 200,000, and the difference is between negative n and n. Okay, and there are a lot of ways in which this problem can be approached, I think. So I think I've seen this problem before. None of them have seen it. So I think it's probably, okay, so the problem we need to solve is basically the interval scheduling problem. And we have two algorithms. First off, we have the algorithm which is sorting in increasing order of Ri, which is the optimal algorithm. And we also have the number of chosen, we have also the algorithm in the increasing order of Li. And this is algorithm which is not supposed to be optimal. It works on some cases, but in some other cases it may not work. Now for the second problem, we have n people and we have a bagage for each of them, and we need to swap the bagages of the two persons. And we also have a condition here that when a person has a piece of baggage that is greater or equal to the weight, then the person gets tired and can't participate in the future as well. We have a permutation, we have a bunch of values. So this problem is also open to a lot of approaches, I think. We can maybe use some sort of a sorting. We can try to think some observations based on this idea, but of course it's all in rough terms. So the problems given are on difficulties from cyan all the way to orange. So they are quite difficult in terms of hardcoder scale, and I think the lowest difficulty is something like 1500, while the highest difficulty is 2200 or even 2300 for hardcoder. So the problems are quite difficult. Okay, we also have a problem bracket score 2, where we define the bracket balanced parenthesis string, and we are asked here to find the maximum score among all of the balanced parentheses of length to n, and we have a bunch of conditions here. So we have the sum of absolute values, and of course the restrictions are up to 200,000. Since we looked at the first three problems, I think I can see those two contestants look at first at the easier problems to see where they are heading to. Okay, so we will begin with Dominator. Okay, let me see whether. Okay, so I can't seem to figure out exactly what he's working on. Okay, he's working on C. Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting strat because now basically if he gets the 300 first, then he will need 800 more. So maybe he can go for something like 300, 400, 500. It can be an approach. Maybe he wants to go for the 300 first, something in the middle, hoping that maybe TheScrasse also chose this problem. Snap tactics can be very well used in lockouts, but it also relies on how well each of the contestants predict what the other problems is like. And just like yesterday, he's using the CodeChef ID. Quite a questionable choice, but as long as it's working for him, I guess that's fine. Now, given that the input and the output is always given from keyboard and from standard input and output, this isn't that big of an issue. But of course, there are better ways to test the programs in the future. Maybe he will eventually move to an offline editor, something more usual, because working in a way in custom invocation isn't, let's say, the best approach. But of course, as I said, if it works for him, that's fine. Now let's move on to TheScrasse. Let's see what he's up to. Okay, so we have a bunch of brackets. Are both of them working on C? Okay, so let's look at the samples. Maybe we can figure this out. Maybe we can figure this out from the input. Looks like they are both going to C. That's an interesting strat. So something about C must have made them both attracted towards getting this done, maybe? Okay, this is quite intriguing, but let's see. So he's trying to figure out some drawings based on, okay, so he's trying to draw some cases for this problem. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so he's drawing now some pairs of balanced bracket sequences. Okay, so it looks like the shift in focus will be on the problem C for now, the problem C from this local competition, and it seems like one of these problems which isn't particularly easy, but maybe there is a way to arrange those brackets in such a way that the differences are as big as possible. Maybe we can do it greedily, maybe there is some DP, I don't know, but it's maybe hard to see some sort of a state. Now, sorting might also come into play, but the problem is that we need to place the open bracket always before some closing bracket because the bracket strings have to be balanced. So we have the 200,000. We can see maybe, I don't know, some sort of an n log n like approach where we can greedily choose the smallest and the greatest one because it doesn't matter how they are placed actually. So this makes the problem a bit easier because if you place two brackets, so if we have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we decide to fix a pair, we can already say for sure that the one on the left is going to be the open bracket and the one on the right of the pair is going to be the right bracket. So there are some observations which can make the problem easier. Okay, let's see what they're up to. Okay, so okay. Did he solve or did he move to another problem? This is interesting. Okay, let's see if he is going to submit anything. Okay. Okay. Show up at the end. Okay. Oh wow, we have the first AC on C. Oh wow, and this is actually a huge development given that TheScrasse was also working on C. So okay, well done. Okay, so we have the first solved problem, the 300. So let's look at the solution and see where things were standing as far as this problem is concerned. Okay, so okay, 120D. Okay, wait. Oh, his handle is actually different. Okay, I was searching after Dominator and I was a bit confused. Okay, so he actually wrote some ideas too, which is very nice. Okay, so he is pairing those things up. Okay, he's sorting the pairs and then he's doing some sort of a greedy where he puts them in even and odd spaces. So this is actually quite a clever approach. He got the 300 points, so a very good start for him. And he also took some time away from TheScrasse, if my understanding is correct, because he also worked on C for some time. So this is clearly a good place to start. So we will mark the 300 points as being solved by Dominator at first. So this is already a very good development for him. So we have the 300 points solved by him. Okay. And let's continue. Okay, so now let's see what they're actually up to. So this is getting interesting. Okay, so looks like TheScrasse is working on BI. Oh, and D. Wow. So he wants to go. To get D in order to maybe take some points away and get an advantage. This is, of course, a good way of approaching this problem and approaching this contest in general, actually, since it's more about approaching the contest rather than the way in which we approach each problem. Let's see what Dominator is actually doing. This is interesting. He's going for A, I think. It makes sense. Now, with 300, he needs 800 more, so either way, if he solves 100, maybe he wants to go for 100 and 200. That would be an interesting strategy given that if he solves the 100 and the 200, he would already have 600. And TheScrasse would be in a very tough spot. But now, as we can see, he isn't too decided yet on what he actually wants to do. So there are there are a lot of questions which have to be answered by both players, in my opinion, and they have a lot of time to do so. Only 15 minutes are passed or so. So, okay. Okay. In the meantime, let's also check the answers from the chat. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So we also have uh, some questions. Yeah, I've been working on a lot of stuff lately in terms of competitive programming, and given that I haven't posted in like 2 years, maybe it's a good time to also talk a bit about some of my past experiences, what have I been up to, and also maybe some plans for the future. So I've been mostly involved in setting problems from contests from Romania and also abroad. I also spend a lot of time tutoring people, and I'm doing this as now as a job. I seek to expand my tutoring activity, and of course, if you guys are interested in being tutored by me at affordable rates and the best services around, you can check out my website. It's in the description, or you can contact me to get exclusive access to the highest quality tutoring services around. And also, other than problem setting and tutoring, I've been also involved in writing courses. Of course, college also played a role, given that school came back to an in-person setting, so things were more difficult in terms of scheduling things. And also, of course, as it always happens, life along comes along the way, and things are always more difficult to be scheduled all at once. So there are a lot of things to be done. But now, given that I'm almost done with the college, I plan to keep coaching, keep teaching, also keep posting content from time to time. So there are a lot of things to be looking forward to. And now, speaking of things looking forward to, oh wow, okay, so TheScrasse actually mentioned that he worked on this problem. Not exactly the most clever thing to do. I actually noticed this yesterday when the lockout tournament took place, that there was this other contestant who did something like that. So he was working on a problem, the other contestant managed to solve it, and he acknowledged the snipe. So it might not be the most effective strategy. So, okay, in the meantime, Dominator seems to be bouncing around back and forth between problems. He's looking now at E, but now we need to see what TheScrasse is doing. So TheScrasse seems to be more committed on D, which is a 400-point problem. Now, if he gets this done, it can help him, but Dominator always has the option to get a 200 done. And if, let's say, the 200, 300, and 400 are being solved, then the 100 basically becomes useless for TheScrasse. Because if Dominator gets 500 first, then there is no reason for TheScrasse to solve the 100, because the tiebreaker would be that the first one to get to that score would win. So the 100-point problem might become useless. So we'll see. This is actually a very interesting problem set, and we have a lot of time left. Let's see now. Okay, so the hashtags have to be connected. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we want to connect the hashtags so that we can connect everything. This is interesting, and also very open to a lot of uh, approaches as well. There might be some sort of DP, maybe some greedy, or maybe even some minimum spanning tree, because we can now, let's say, think of this from a perspective of a graph, and we want as many of the nodes on this path to be common in order to not waste time, in order to not waste space with extra places. This is actually a very interesting problem, and also an intriguing one, given that those problems are both very difficult. Those problems are all somewhat difficult. Okay, so let's let this class look at D. Okay, Dominator is now reading C. This is a very A. Sorry, it was a C in that contest. So now he's reading A. On my back wall, I have no idea. I mean, I am actually hosting this live from another room. It's not a room in my place because now I'm in a dorm. So it would have been impossible for me to host such an important lockout competition in the dorm room, and just like I'm doing with every other course and lesson I'm holding, because I would have to, it would be harder to get things done as there would be noise from outside, but in this room things are more quiet and it's easier to get things done. Now in the meantime that, okay, so now okay, so he started implementing A. Okay, let's see this process now. Maybe he's stuck. We have already 20 minutes since the start of this duel. Now let's see what we can have. Okay, let's also look at what happened. Okay, seems like they now started implementing. Now this crosser, let's see what he's doing. Looks like they are both stuck in the same place, which isn't, let's say, too good for the competition, but I guess it's good for Dominator as he's the one who first got the problem done. Let's also see how things are going as far as, okay, so we have now a bunch of, okay, the viewership isn't that great now, but guys, please share the video everywhere. We need to show love and support for our contestants in order to help them get the problem done. Okay, so those problems are, even though those problems are very difficult, there are a lot of ways in which they can be done, and they're also very interesting for a lot of purposes, because those problems, they are ad hoc, they are what we are seeing nowadays a lot in competitive programming contests. You guys are facing those problems at all kinds of levels, and it's very important for you to see how those very good contestants are approaching them, how is everyone looking when it comes to thinking of the ideas. and there are a lot of lessons to be learned from each of the problems. And even at the highest level, there are things which may be completely new. So we are now in this phase in the lockout contest where uh, the contestants are now focusing on a problem at a time, and they need to get something done. Especially this TheScrasse isn't in too good of a spot in order to discuss isn't in a too good of a spot because he has now to solve something more difficult. Solving 100, 200 is no longer worth it for him. I mean, unless he gets something bigger done from here. So in a way, this class is cornered to the higher problems. So the Dominator can use this in his advantage. And with that being said, he is now looking at A. He seems to be making good progress in the implementation on A, and this would mark if okay. He's now running the samples. Let's see. The current score, by the way, is 300 for Dominator. And let's see what happens. Okay, so he's running the samples. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. And now we are waiting for the results of, let's say, this run. Okay, he's submitting. This can be a very important moment. And wow, he's making good progress. Oh, he got the wrong answer, but he was rather close. This this isn't ideal. Uh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So, submission details. This isn't. Yeah. I mean, other than what you see when you submit from the interface, no. Yeah, so none of them are allowed to see the test cases on what test cases they got wrong answer or not. So it's basically as if they are not blind solving, but not like solving a lot of stuff. Now, TheScrasse is looking at D for a while now. So he is now committed to D, and he basically doesn't have that much of a choice at this point. He has to go to get those high point problems done. I mean, there are there are a lot of points. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I made it clear. Okay. Yeah, they don't know what I'm talking about here. I mean, they can't hear the commentary or. Okay, can I share the full screen? The letters are small. Well, it would be rather hard logistically, and it wouldn't make that big of a difference, honestly, to share the entire screen. But I can show you what they are thinking of. I mean, I can make it something like this, but it wouldn't improve too much because I also need to switch back and forth to the contestants, the other than the contestants, uh, the problems, and so on. So there are a lot of things to be said. Okay, and let's see now what else. Okay, so now we have. Okay, thanks guys for sharing this stream. Keep it going. We need more action, more people. There are a lot of things to be said and done here. So now that okay, so this one was solved. Dominator, let's see what he's been up to with this problem. Did he submit anything else? Oh wow, he got accepted. Mm, wow. And we have a now a new score. We have 400-0. So this is very dangerous. Now the 400 doesn't help TheScrasse anymore. I mean he gets a tie but doesn't get the advantage. So I mean 400 is viable in the context of him getting also the 200. But we are now at the point in the contest where Dominator has a very good advantage, and things can be things can be very difficult for TheScrasse. Let's see what Dominator is up to. Okay, he's now reading the same problem TheScrasse is working on. So, well, let's see what TheScrasse is up to. Okay, not that much progress, and this can be tough. In the meantime, the World Chess Championship is uh, having its tiebreak stage too at this point, which is in a way nice as we can now in a way compare. I mean, of course, our players are not as strong as let's say the top chess grandmasters are, but in a way it's a very important event, and it only fits that uh, we have this important event, our duel, to have us warm up for the final stages of the tiebreaks. If you guys are following chess, this is also something nice you can watch later in the day, after this duel is done, of course. Yeah, Dominator has a very good chance of winning. 400-0 is a very good advantage. And it will be very hard for TheScrasse to uh, come back from this, especially given that if Dominator goes for 200, I think it's safe to say that he's going to win. I am quite confident in his chances of winning if he goes for the 200. And but he's now reading D as well. This can be very dangerous, given that this class has progressed a lot with this problem, and Dominator is now just starting. But now the thing is that Dominator also has the caution of having solved the problem so far. So this is getting very interesting. This is we are at a stage where Dominator has a good advantage, but everything can everything can change fast. Now he's looking good. Okay, too heavy is B, I think. So too heavy is B. So he can look at, if I were him at this stage with this advantage, I would look at B. Honestly, I would look at B and just get the 200 points and making sure that I have this very big advantage of 600 points. 600 points are very hard to come back from, especially in a lockout format where the problems are not exactly type racer. So let's see. We can only wait now. Okay, so now we have these problems. We have a lot of things to look at. Let's see what this TheScrasse is actually doing. He has to make some progress. Okay, so he's going with some sort of a DFS where so he's making a graph. Okay, so he's going the graph path. I was suggesting this graph path. And he wants to find the connected components. And so he wants to compress the connected components in order to no longer have to care about adjacent places. So this is a good idea. This is something that definitely makes a lot of sense. Okay, and yeah, so let's see what everyone is up to. Okay, so while we let this class get his D done, it would be very important for him to get this done, especially given that the Dominator seems to have committed to D. He's reading it. He's been reading this problem for 5 minutes, so that's a lot of time already. And what we can say is that now, in this perspective, this class getting D would make things even. And I mean, I don't see a situation in which none of them gets anything else done until the end. Of course, if this class can't get anything, at least 400 points, then he's going to lose. But in a way, the 200 problem will only become useful if this class is solving the 400. And he solved it. He solved 400. And now this makes things very interesting. He solved 400. And now we have a tie. So now, in the case of a tie, Dominator will still win, assuming this will be the only tie. I don't think they can be tied at any other point in the game. So, okay, so 400, 400. In the case the tie stays, Dominator wins as he was the first one to get to 400. But this is making things very interesting. Let's see this solution. I'm actually curious to see what was the approach. Okay, so he found the connected components. So in the DFS, so what he's doing is that so he found the DFS, he's finding the connected components, but he also counts the number of connected components that have something that goes at any edge. So in a way, it's a DFS with some sort of an different restriction. So he saw the graph path, he did the DFS, and he got the problem done. So good job to him. Good job to both of them so far. 400 points. A very good show-off so far. The contest is 1 hour and 30 minutes long, and they have 53 more minutes. So there are a lot of things, and we also had, so 3 of the problems were solved. So the 200, the 100, the 200, and the 400 were solved. So 120D, 160, 160. Yeah, okay, one of the problems was something I had before. And this one was just solved. So now we have the 200, the 500, and the 600. Now it's interesting to see what Dominator will do. This class is looking at B. He is also making some progress. Now let's say Dominator. Dominator is looking at E. And he started implementing it. Wow. So he started implementing E. let's see E. I actually we actually looked at that bit at B, but we didn't see anything yet when it comes to E. E is also a harder problem, so it would be 500 in the contest, which makes for a very interesting setup. Now, okay, so now we have an undirected graph, and we need to convert the graph into a directed one in such a way that for each eye we delete the undirected edge and add two directed edges, one of the two directed edges, and we need to make sure that there are exactly ci vertices reachable from vertex I in that, let's say, not connective component, because that's more of an undirected graph concept, but if we were to do a DFS from vertex I, we would have exactly ci vertices. So now we have this option. We have those options. Both players have good options. Okay, so if C is different from CB, the edge direction is fixed. Otherwise, we need to make sure the reachable nodes from A are also reachable from B. He's seeing some sort of, wow, he's summiting already. Wow. He's doing random. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This can get spicy. If he gets the 500, then this is going to be very interesting. Wow. Let's see, this can be a very big moment. Now, okay, he's getting a wrong answer. So the random solutions don't seem to work. So he's going now to solve in a more legitimate way. So let's see now TheScrasse. TheScrasse is going for B. So now we have two different strategies. Both of them are valid. The Dominator assumes he's going to solve B, and he's going to solve E, and that would put him in a spot which would force TheScrasse to get two problems done, or the 600. So if he solves the 500, then Dominator, I think, will win. However, TheScrasse is solving B, and he's assuming that none of them can solve E or F in the 50 minutes. But 50 minutes is a lot of time, and we've already seen a D solved so far. And also C and A. I'm not sure whether this will pay off or not, but both strategies make sense. Honestly, going with B can be a good short-term solution, and if the problems turn out to be difficult, then going to B is more of a safer approach. But I can see the merits of both strategies. They are both interesting, they are both creative, and they both emphasize on the strengths each player has. TheScrasse is on paper the stronger contestant, as he is the Grandmaster, but Dominator is a very good contestant, very talented person. He managed to get this good in a few months. Few people can boast such a high level of achievement as he did in 8 months or so. So they are both very good, and they both have a lot of potential to get to the highest stages of competitive programming. And in a way, this duel can motivate them to do things better, to practice more, and to win more prizes at contests to go. So the current scores are 400, 400. 400, 400. Dominator wins in case of tie. As he solved the 400 problem first. Now, if there will be winner's interview, I hope so. I haven't discussed this yet with any of them, but I hope there will be. I would want them to have an interview, but I will let both of them know at the end, in case this happens. So we need to set this up in such a way that it will work for both of us. But I think it will have to be some sort of I will host a Zoom meeting with the winner and see, but let's see if they want it first. But first off, let's focus on the problems and on what developments will show. Okay, can I pull my code from previous submissions elsewhere? previous from this contest or previous from some point in the past. This is very, yeah. So I think if he's taking code he wrote today in this contest, then I think it's fine. Some point from past. Let's see. This okay depends on. Okay. You may not view. Okay. You may not view the rant announcement, the editorial, or any other internet resources, but pre-written code is allowed. So, okay, if it's yours, then yeah. Okay, so this was the rule used yesterday in the other lockout competition. We will stick by the rules they had yesterday. They are very useful for our contest as well. And okay, so okay, TheScrasse is finding the strongly connected components and building cycles. This is the approach for E. It seems to be the intended one. Okay, so yeah. Okay, he wanted to use CP algorithm. Well, it was the rule at the beginning of the contest. It's not like anything was fixed before. So yeah, this was the rule set. Well, if Dominator will wins, then yeah, I mean, if he wants to have an interview, then yeah, we will have an interview. But it depends on whether they want or not. I can't force them to have an interview. We are almost at the half of the contest, 45 minutes left. So we now have a tie score. We have 3 problems solved for each contestant, and we'll see how things evolve. Okay, so let's look at Dominator. Okay, so now he has to write strongly connected components. I think on his own. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to those theoretical concepts, it's very important to know the basics, or at least have a good idea of how basics work. I mean, in let's say online contests, you can guys write templated code. You can take code from the internet, which was already published before. So let's say you can take templates of algorithms, but you can't take let's say you can't take code which was written by someone else during the contest or cheat in any way. So, but in this context, in the context of this context, the rules are a bit more strict, and for that reason, they can't use code they wrote code online. So this is why none of them is allowed to do so. The rules were discussed before the contest, so it's the same rule for both of them. And especially in contests which are taking place in person, I'm thinking especially at a Dominator. He's still in high school, so he can also get to IOI. And in IOI, you don't have any pre-written code at first, any pre-written code during the contest. So there are things which have to be considered. Now let's look at, okay, let's see if the blog post is getting, okay, so we have now another comment. Okay, so, okay, 43 minutes left. Okay, Dominator it keeps writing the implementation for strongly connected components. Now, I'm not sure whether that's exactly a strongly connected component implementation. I mean, it doesn't look like Postarajo to me, but maybe he's doing it in some other way. Maybe it's not a strongly connected component per se. Well, okay, so both of them are now implementing. So this can lead to a lot of things. Okay, so we are getting in this sort of a more relaxed stage of the lockout battle. Of course, for the contestants, is not a relaxed stage. They need to work very hard to get those problems done in order to win this duel. And let's see whether we have more questions, more curiosities, things you might be looking to learn or to discover. And of course, as always, keep bringing your friends here. The more people you bring here, the better it's going to be for the stream, for our contestants, for the channel. So everyone will benefit if more people will participate and watch. So make sure to uh, spread the word of the stream and to also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Okay, so no questions yet. Okay, so this process seems to be in a very advanced stage of the implementation. He's now doing the DFS, but let's see. The way it's looking like, I don't think he has that much left from the code. While Dominator is a bit behind, but he's writing now the DFS, so it's interesting. They are both solving the 500 now, so they're both going after the same problem. So I think this will be the decider. So if whoever solves this first, I think will win. Unless we get a situation in which someone solves it fast and gets it done in such a way that there will be more time for the other contestant to maybe come back. But it doesn't look too easy. There are some cases which have to be considered. There is also the idea that we need to make sure that we fulfill this condition. The constraints are not that big, however, so I don't think the emphasis is that much on getting the fastest possible code, but I think it's more about getting a correct solution done rather than something very fast. So, okay. Mm, this is this is interesting. So, in a way, they feel a bit stuck here. Both of them feel somewhat stuck. We can see in the chat that there are a lot of Indian supporters. So given that Dominator is an Indian high school student, he has a lot of fan support. Do we have Italians or supporters of Valerio here, of TheScrasse? So we have Shreyan's supporters, we have a lot of Indian people, but do we have also Italian people or supporters of TheScrasse to cheer up for him as well? We, so we can see the support for both players. They both deserve support and they both deserve the results they got. So, for example, if we look at the Italian IOI teams, I think Valerio participated last year, if I'm not mistaken. Actually participated twice. Actually 3 times, sorry. So he got twice bronze. He also went another time. He warmed up in order to get bronze. And even though this is bronze, he was close to silver. I mean, 120th place. If he were to get something like 80th, 90th place, it would have been a silver. So he wasn't that far away. I mean, the silver was 30 points away, so he did well at IOI. Of course, I mean, everyone wants to achieve more. Everyone wants to get more things done. But of course, we need to observe that the work to get to IOI is very difficult, no matter what country you're from. And the work to also get to the higher stages of competitive programming is even more difficult. So this is always something I'm telling people when I'm coaching or when I'm advising otherwise, that there is a lot of work to be done and there will always be setbacks. But you need to come back from them. You need to remember that you shouldn't let a setback ruin you or maybe make you think that you're only the person who had this setback. you're also the person who got the achievements, the person who had the good contests, and the person who learned a lot of stuff. So, oh, we actually have Valerio supporters as well. So, and Jeroen can't choose a favorite. And there are a bunch of people who support both of them. So we have now more support. And actually, a shout out Jeroen. He actually was the writer of yesterday's round together with Adamant. So good job to both of them. I am not sure whether you guys like the problem or not, but they did a really good job. And the blog had a good number of upvotes, and both of them actually worked a lot to get these problems done. And there is a lot of hard work when it comes to a code forces round. So a lot of things to be considered. Oh wow, we have the 500. Wow. Okay, so 36 minutes. I guess so. Wow. So TheScrasse has solved the 500. Wow, this is a huge development in the contest. My prediction was that whoever solves this one will win, and let's see what TheScrasse did. So he did this DFS idea. He used the depths. Okay, so he made the graph undirected. Okay, he also has the depths. Does it look like some sort of a bi-connected approach? It it looks a bit like that, but maybe just a normal DFS. It looks like some DFS with respect to depth and to codify the answer in some way or not. And the answer is also a vector, so okay, AG's masterpiece. He went to LGM in 20 months. Okay, let's see. Wow. Yeah, so he's an amazingly talented contestant. He also practiced a lot of problems. So over 2,000 problems. He also probably practiced from other places before. So, and also he took a good number of contests. It's not like he ran away from contests. So good job to him. He's now close to top 10. There are a lot of amazing contestants and a lot of highly talented students. I see this everywhere around the world. There are people who get to these high levels very fast, and there are a lot of people who become really good really fast. But this doesn't mean that getting good slower ruins the achievement by itself. It's still a very big achievement to get even to Grandmaster, let alone Legendary Grandmaster. So as someone who never got the Grandmaster, I can say that getting Grandmaster or even Master, basically any rating you always wanted to have, it's an achievement you should guys be proud of. Okay, so let's look now at so 900, 400 the TheScrasse. And let's also add, so after he started slower, he got to solve the 2 D and D. So a very good position for him. If he solves B, it's over. So TheScrasse has no point in looking at F. So it's only about Dominator getting F. So Dominator has to get F. So this problem. And TheScrasse only has to get C. So it's a very good position for TheScrasse. This is getting very dangerous for Dominator. Just after it seemed like he was having the upper hand. Let's see what Dominator has to say about this. He has 30 more minutes to solve and he already started implementing. So he's not wasting time. I was thinking those problems might be too difficult, but those contestants are very, very talented. They are very good at competitive programming. They've been practicing a lot. And the results speak for themselves. They already solved 4 of the 6 problems, of course. I mean, Dominator solved 2 of them, TheScrasse solved other 2 problems, but they solved 4 of the 6 problems. And if they were to team up, they would already have had 4 problems. Or maybe even more, given that they also wasted some time on the problems other person solved. The Indian got skillish. Well, there are, as we can see, there have been comebacks so far in this contest. TheScrasse made a comeback. Maybe Dominator will make a comeback too. There are a lot of things which can be said. There is a lot of time left, over 30 minutes. And F looks like a counting problem. Sorry, not a counting problem. I misread this. An expected value problem. And it might be a counting problem like style, or maybe a DP problem, or maybe just a math problem where we count things. There are a lot of approaches. Okay, so he's now implementing F, and TheScrasse is thinking at B. This is interesting. Okay, Dominator is implementing, and he's doing what seems to be good progress. So we have now a very good distribution of scores. Now we just need to see where things are standing. So let's look again at the blog post. Okay, so we have now both contestants working on problems. So let's watch. Okay, so it looks like Dominator seems to already print an answer. Okay, wait, so what's the output format for this one? Oh, wait, am I looking at the right problem? Oh, no way, Dominator is going for B in order to snipe TheScrasse. But wow, Dominator is going for B. Why? Does he not know it's 900 to 400? Or maybe he thinks that TheScrasse is thinking at B, but that wouldn't help him. Maybe Dominator, he thinks he knows how to solve F, and he already has the idea, and he wants to snipe that solution away from TheScrasse. Okay. And he gets wrong answer. This is not too good, but I don't see how is this helping Dominator. Unless he saw F and he knows how to solve it, there is absolutely no point in him solving this problem at all. He's too far behind. It's 900, 400 with 200 more points. That would be 900 to 600, and that would still put him behind. And he got accepted. Wow. This is a very interesting strategy. Wow. So now Dominator solved the first 3, TheScrasse solved the next 2, and it's all down to the last problem. So, and TheScrasse has the advantage of having more points if nobody solves it. So 900, 600. This is very interesting, a very interesting development. Let's see now what TheScrasse has to say about this. Wow. Okay, so Dominator has a good shot at winning this if he knows exactly what he needs to do with the 600. But it might turn out that this would be a mistake if he doesn't know how to solve it. I mean, he didn't waste a lot of time because TheScrasse solved the 500 10 minutes ago. Then Dominator came back with the 200 very shortly after. And he also made TheScrasse waste 10 minutes. But I mean, those 10 minutes didn't have that big of a use for Dominator either. He will need the 600, no matter how you take it. Yeah, so, well, we have now supporters of both contestants cheering them up, which is very nice. But we need to see how things unfold. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it's now all about whoever solved this first, whoever is solving this first. And again, if none of them is solving it in the remaining 25 minutes, then TheScrasse is going to win 900, 600. So TheScrasse has the advantage of winning if Dominator doesn't solve. But Dominator is forced to solve the problem. Yeah, it makes sense. But Dominator solved B since if he had not discussed it, would have solved it instead to get 1100, win it instantly. Yeah, now I can see the merits of blocking the 200 because that would have been an easy path for TheScrasse to win. So, but even in that case, this still doesn't change much. Dominator still has the second chance because TheScrasse has two options. He can solve it and win, or none of them solves it and he still wins. But the Dominator bought himself some time, which is very important. Very important. So now we are now to the last problem. Let's see what TheScrasse is doing. Okay, so he's now. Okay, so what is that asking for? So we have a tree and we have this expected value problem. Let's see what Dominator is doing instead. He's still reading the statement. Oh, yeah, I am greeting the Marty1 community too. They are going to host a Romanian contest tomorrow. The problems will be only in Romanian, but if you guys are interested in participating to another contest with Olympiad style, you can guys check the problems out if they share the link in the chat. Okay, yeah, so yeah, exactly. He prevented an immediate loss, even if he's still losing. Yeah, so this is a good move. It may not turn out to be the best move, but it's a better move than just having TheScrasse solve the 200. So yeah, there is merit in this approach. Dominator is still stuck on the statement. And TheScrasse seems to make some progress, at least judging from the drawings. But there is still a lot of time left, 23 minutes. Good time, good amount of time left. And we have 23 minutes left. And okay, so we can now close these things a bit. Okay, how much time left? 22 minutes, 23 minutes actually. So still a good amount of time left. Yeah, so now it's all down to the last problem. It doesn't make much sense to look at what the other one is doing. Not much is happening right now. I wish I could be a quarter as good as them. Well, everyone can become as good as they are, but the only difference is that it is in the amount of time anyone is willing to put towards getting this done, towards getting to the high level they are at. Even though it might seem like they haven't worked for a lot of time, they did work for many years, and not just in competitive programming. Getting to such a high level requires also very strong math background. It also requires strong problem solving skills, and it also requires the patience to practice through all of those algorithms, all of these data structures, and taking all of these contests, and most importantly, learning from the mistakes. And there are a lot of ways in which someone can learn from the mistakes. Some people can do it on their own. For most people, however, a mentor or a guide or a teacher can be useful. Again, if you guys are interested in having a teacher, you can check me out. So I helped a lot of people get to those levels at which they are at now. And but in their case, they are exceptionally talented. So they also, it's not just that they got to this level, they also got to this level fast. And this also once more shows the exceptional talent they have. So another shout out to them. And now that we're heading towards the 20-minute mark, let's cheer them up more. They deserve it. 20 more minutes left. Yeah, a nice plug. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so now we have 19 more minutes. Okay, so Dominator started implementing. And okay, so, oh, okay, this was a bit strange. Okay, let's, mm, okay, okay, he's writing the template. Templates are allowed. It's code he wrote by himself. That is allowed. Okay, so, oh, we have now more support for TheScrasse. That's great to hear. He will, hopefully, that will help him get to the point where he solves the problem. Or even if he doesn't solve it, he still has the upper hand. He has the choice of not solving it and still win. So, a lot of good things to be said about both of them. But Dominator is the one who has to push harder to win. Okay, so now, now the only focus now left is on what those guys are doing. So Dominator plugged the factorial template. Of course, a very good thing to have, especially when it comes to combinatorics problems. Having those templates for algorithms which can be easily used whenever you need them is very important. And especially in an ad hoc and math heavy platform such as AdCoder, or even such as code forces is in a lot of contests nowadays, it's very important to have this idea of keeping some templates, but of course not something too obnoxious like keeping some million lines or whatever, something very long. But keeping some codes to have a better start is always a good thing. So a lot of things to be said about that as well. There are a lot of things we can talk about. Maybe at some point we can have talks about some future directions in competitive programming, things beginners should be looking at. There are a lot of resources, and maybe some discussions would be helpful as well. I don't know, maybe just some ideas. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so Dominator is implementing. TheScrasse isn't implementing yet, but he seems to be the kind of person who wants to have a more clear idea before implementing. So it makes sense. It makes sense to go for such an approach. Okay, let's assume we can pick good nodes. Answer is the expected nodes minus the expected of good nodes picked. And he's now going down the probabilities. For probabilities, he would also need to do some modular inverse, but of course at that level that's already very easy to do. They just plug in the function where they raise these at mod minus 2. So especially if the mod is prime. So with a prime mod, things are always easier to do, especially with those number theory problems. So of course things are easier in that way. No more comments, but we only have 15 minutes left. I will warn the contestants with 10 minutes to go, because giving them so many pings might actually be counterintuitive. So I don't want to put them in a spot where they would feel more pressure than needed. I mean, it would of course be fun from a watcher perspective, but from a contestant point of view, it's never fun to have this pressure of being told you have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. I will tell them with 10 minutes and maybe with 5 minutes to go. So that's what I'm going to do. Now we have this last problem. Now TheScrasse seems to be going down this idea. Now Dominator, he's running it on samples, or he's computing probabilities. Maybe it's not as clear yet. It's not as clear yet. Okay, 13 more minutes. Okay, so f of 3 check round samples. Okay, so he's going now to this part of checking some small answers. This is also a very good approach to look at the small cases, see maybe you can find a pattern, and maybe go on to implement it. But with these mathematical problems, especially at this level, we need a lot of precision. Not precision in terms of, I don't know, floating point numbers, but precision in terms of precise implementation. What about OIES? Is that allowed? Uh, hmm. Okay. Oh, yes. Uh, this is a gray area. Or any other, yeah. OIS isn't allowed, unfortunately. Because here it says that we may not view the round announcement, the internet, or any other resource. So, no. Inter. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, that would have been, yeah. I mean, no OIS either. So, this is just by yourself, as if you guys are I don't know, at IOI or at a in-person contest. So no online tools. But I'm wondering what would he see with OIS? Uh, F of 3. Hmm. I'm actually interested in seeing what would he think we can do using OIS. Because as far as I remember, OIS is only for integers, not for probabilities. I'm actually very interested to see what he thinks we can do with OIS, or if anyone knows in the chat what we can do with OIS. This calling, it's yeah, it's for their privacy. We keep the Discord private. We don't want spammers to just react and disturb the contestants. It's also something they would not be prepared for. We haven't discussed about publicizing this link or whatever. If other contests might come in the future, maybe we can make some sort of a public community for these things. But right now, we keep the server private for just them and I. So there is nobody else who is going to enter. They can only see. You can only see through this video, not through accessing the server. OIS. So maybe he won 3 level, but this I think there have to be a lot of such series. I mean, number of harmonic numbers, numerator of harmonic numbers. But I think there are a lot of series which start like that. Super Catalan. On or unsigned Stirling numbers, of course, kind. Or maybe this one as well. There are a lot of variants. Only 9 minutes left. Okay. Looks like TheScrasse is not going to get this done. I don't think he has the time to implement it because he's now thinking, and he takes some time. So I don't think he will solve it. So the focus is probably more on this on Dominator. If Dominator gets it done, then he's going to win. But he didn't finish writing the function yet. That function is very vital for getting this problem done. He only wrote the base case. Unfortunately, with just the base case, you can't win. You need to come up with a way to write the function, and fast. There are only 7 minutes left. 8 minutes actually. 8 minutes left. So he has to get it done, and to get it done fast. Things are getting difficult. Hmm. Do you guys think he will actually end up solving the problem? maybe let's leave some comments to see whether you guys think he will get this done. 7 more minutes. Do you think he will make it? Do you think he will come back and win on the last at the last second? That would be a very nice way to conclude this battle, full of ups and downs, full of comebacks, full of drama, full of snipes, full of everything. This has been a very amazing lockout duel so far. A very amazing contest. So stay tuned. We are now watching the final moments of our duel. A duel full of everything, of very good problems, very talented contestants, and everything a good lockout duel has to feature. So let's see. Right now, it looks like Dominator isn't making much progress, and TheScrasse is still on paper, on the board. So no code from him, and I don't see him writing the code that fast. Even if he gets this done within, I don't know, a minute or two, he would still need probably a few minutes to implement this. It may not be enough. So Dominator looks like he has the idea of an implementation, but he's stuck here for a few minutes already. Oh, he actually is writing now. He's writing. Not sure, but maybe he could. Yeah, so there is not a lot of optimism in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. It's very interesting. And we are now seeing the last stages of the battle. 5 more minutes. I'm not going to disturb them anymore. They already know they don't have a lot of time left. 5 minutes. They have to be fast. Especially Dominator. TheScrasse has a very good chance. He can well just not solve anymore, and he would still have a good chance of winning. But would that prove out to be the right strategy? He's trying. He wants to get it done, and he started implementing. Now we have his factorial template as well, and the combinatorics template. He's now implementing. So let's see. This is going to be toe to toe. So let's see. It's very close. What about Dominator? He seems like he's closer to getting it done. But what will he make it in time? This can be very dangerous. This can be a very dangerous situation. He's running now on the samples. Let's see. Let's see whether he gets the right output. He's now relying on this online ID. There are a lot of things which can go wrong with that. Okay, and he got the right output. He's trying to submit. No more time to wait. No more time to spend. Will he get it done? That would be an awesome way to win if he gets it done. Wow. Wow, unbelievable. And he won. Wow, he won. Wow. Wow. And we have a winner. We have a winner against all odds. We have a winner. Let's see how much it will take them to. The duel has finished. Omid, 1200 to 900. Wow. 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 He won at the last moment. This is unbelievable. He had this right strategy of getting it done, and he got B. And even though he started well, he had a slower mid game. But then in this ending stages of the contest, he managed to get it done. And join an interview. let's see. We have okay. Uh, uh, okay, so we will have an interview. We will have an interview. Wow. But yeah, unbelievable performance to both of them. Okay. Okay, so let me give you. Well, we can discuss. Let's. Okay. So 1 second, I think. Okay. So we will have the meeting. I will have a meeting on the Zoom, so it will be also public. It will also be available, but of course it's going to be, and the final score will be this one, 1200 to 900. So, uh, 1 second. Okay, so I think that should work. Okay, okay. I asked him. He doesn't want to do it. We can't force anyone to turn on their cameras. They have the right to privacy, and we can't just. I can't force them to do it. If you were to be in the same spot, maybe it would be different for you guys as well. So it always gets to this weird spot. So okay, I can wait, guys. Okay. Actually, Dominator 1. No, I'm not going to send the link. Look. Okay, Dominator just joined. Okay, let's see if he. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hear you. Okay, so we need to okay. How do I set this up? Okay, you probably can hear me, but I'm not sure if. Uh, okay. Uh,
Yeah, I
I
can
think
hear
that.
you.
Okay. Mm, any help with? Let 1 second. Let me check something. Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. How do I? Okay. Mm, okay. Does anyone know how to? Does anyone know how to make? I can't hear them either. Help any setting this up. Uh, okay. This is going to be a bit more difficult to do, I think. Let me see. Uh, oh, uh, okay. So, mm, okay. Uh, okay. Maybe we can. Mm, okay. These are some small technical issues, I think. Okay. Uh, uh, Okay. Maybe it's something from the OBS settings. Okay, so uh, mm,
Hello, can you hear me?
uh,
Hello, can you hear me?
okay. Does Discord voice call not work? Mm, okay. Yeah, I mean it's it's something on my end. Uh, okay. Well, I think you guys can probably hear me, but I'm not sure how am I going to make you guys um, get heard. So, uh, oh, OBS. Okay, so OBS. Uh, here external audio. So property. Okay, so audio mixer. Uh, okay. Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I will join. Yeah, okay. The good idea. Okay. Okay. 1 second. I'll join from phone. Okay. 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 I know, guys, that you can hear him. I just need to set the zoom for myself as well. Okay. So that should take a bit of time. Okay. Okay. So okay.
Okay,
Can
can
you
you
guys
guys
talk so
talk
that I
so
can
that I
see if
can
I
see if
can
I
hear
can
you
hear you
on
on
the
the
phone?
phone?
You
You
guys
guys
show up as
show up
if
as
you're
if you're
muted.
muted.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah, I
hear you
can
now.
hear you.
Okay. Can you
Okay,
hear
can you
me?
hear me?
I could
I
hear
could
you.
hear
Can you
you.
hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
I
Yeah.
can.
You can't.
You can.
I could hear
I
you
could
for a
hear you for
moment.
a moment.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
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 Okay. Can you
Okay.
hear
Can
me
you hear
too?
me too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect.
Okay. So
Okay,
now
so
that we
now that we
set
set
this,
this,
now that we
now that we
set
set
this
this
stream up,
stream
let's say
up,
this
let's say
Zoom
this
call
Zoom
up.
call up,
Now,
now,
yeah,
yeah,
there will be
there will
some
be some.
echo. Uh, mm, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So,
uh, did you
did you
were you
were
guys
you guys
able to
able
hear
to
me
hear
when I
me
was
when I was
talking
talking
earlier on,
earlier on,
so that I
so that I
Yeah,
can?
for the most part,
Oh,
but a bit unclear.
okay,
Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. There
Okay.
won't be
There won't
that
be
big
that
of an
big of
issue,
an
but
issue,
in
but
the
in the
future.
future.
Okay, I
Okay.
need
I
to
need to
exit from the
exit from the
laptop. Okay,
laptop. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
so
So
I will
I
leave
will
the
leave the
meeting
meeting
and I will
and I will
make
make
myself the
myself
new
the.
host on the phone. Okay, okay. So now I left the meeting on the computer in order to get this done. Okay, so before we can start, I want to congratulate both of the contestants, both of you, for the very amazing effort you've done in order to solve all of the problems. All of them were solved, and the final score was 1200 to 900 in favor of Dominator. Now, let me start by asking you a few questions. So, first off, what did you think, Dominator, when you saw that? Sorry, what did you think, TheScrasse, when you saw that Dominator had such a good start? So he started very well. He had I think, the 300 and the 100, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, this was a contest with many back and forth situations and with a lot of with a lot of turnarounds. So after Dominator solved to the 100 and the 300, then TheScrasse took the lead by getting the 400 and the 500. So the score was at some point 900 to 400, and I think this was a very amazing move by Dominator to get the 200 points done. But why did you do it? So you were behind 500 points and you decided to go on the 200. What was the reasoning behind it? Why did you decide to go for it? Did you so? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and when you looked at those problems, did you already have some ideas for the 600, or when you finished? Okay, yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, this was a very good approach, and of course, you managed to solve the problem, and you Dominator won this lockout in a very nice style. So you won it at the right at the last moment. So there were only a few minutes left, and I was watching you during the last few minutes until the contest was over, and you seemed to make no progress. And you eventually solved it. So, what was the thing you were trying to look at OIES? Because I see. Yeah. So yeah, because I was looking when you were when you were asking me about OIS, and I saw the sequences, and there were I don't know, 4 or 5 distinct sequences of numbers which could start, I don't know, with 1, 3, 11. What were you exactly looking for? 1, 3, 11? Or
so I was expecting the numerators, the denominators were always factorials. I noticed that. So I was expecting probably the numerators to be on OLES.
it makes sense, yeah. Did you eventually see what were the answers for a few more answers? Maybe.
No, I just found the recurrence in the numerators.
Okay, I see. Okay, makes sense. Okay, let's see if we got other questions. Okay, so let's see if we get other questions from chat for you guys. So do you guys have more questions? Also,
and it is indeed on OEIS the first thing that you open, if you put in 1311, you get the correct one.
oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I was looking at those, and of not just that one, but also one or two more ones seemed like might be the right one. But yeah, if it was the first one, then yeah, if you were to be allowed to use OIES, of course, that would have been way easier to do. But of course, that would have been an advantage for TheScrasse as well. So given that both of you had the exact same options. Okay, this is more okay. So I got a question from Shivam for you, Dominator. Seems like okay. This is more about your general progress in competitive programming, but how did you become so good at competitive programming in such a short time? It seems to be a curiosity many people have on the chat.
You can check my graph and you will see that the number of solved problems is quite high, and that is also like around half of the actual thing, because there are lots of other sites as well. So the main thing is, of course, practice. I usually like to practice at my rating plus 200 or 300, not much higher. I don't think it makes sense to practice much higher problems in your current rating, because they will take days at a time to solve.
Of course. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, this is a very good answer. I was also commenting on you guys' progress, both of you's progress, and how you got to these high levels, especially in your case that you got to nearly Grandmaster very fast. And yeah, practicing is very important. And as he said, also practicing at an appropriate level, where you can get this done. I have this another question from Navnet, but I'm not sure how much sense it makes, as I don't want to go into some unknown field or maybe some inside joke. Says something like, just tell you to speak this number, I don't know, 05101. I have no idea what the reference to this, but maybe you know. It's asked from someone named Navnet, so do you want to comment on this, or?
I did not understand what you said.
Oh, so okay, I'm quoting you a comment now. So Navnet is asking, just tell him to speak 05101 once.
Can you write it in the chat? I can't really understand.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, I will write it in the Discord chat because I can't. Okay, this one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully this isn't some inside joke. Yeah, or something. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So okay. Another question from someone named Itachi Unichiba. I mean, that's probably an alter ego or something. How did you manage to GEE and CP together? So the exam and competitive programming at once. Did you not hear it? Sorry.
No, I heard it. I just don't want to comment on it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, now, let me ask you guys, what do you think about the lockout format? So, did you find this lockout format interesting with having more difficult problems than in a usual lockout format?
what to expect. For example, I was solving the 200 problem, but it was solved a few minutes before by my opponent. Strategy here is particularly important. Maybe I should have tried the 600 problem first. But actually I found the solution, but it required an entity, and I didn't know where to copy it from. I had to find another solution. I didn't know if I would have done it in time.
I see. Yeah, I mean, the going for the 200 problem makes a lot of sense in your case. I mean, I think you were the first one to read it either, so it was more of a factor of luck, I guess, because strategically speaking, in your case, going for the 200 made a lot of sense because you had the 900, you had 2 more 100 points to get, and getting that problem done would have marked the win, your win. But of course, what happened was that Dominator came back and won the contest. And what about you, Dominator? What do you think about this format, especially compared to the format you had to face yesterday, where you won the high school lockout competition? So good job for that as well. So you have this winning streak.
The format is fine. The one thing I would like, the easier problems are quite low points compared to the difficulty. Harder problems are roughly maybe a bit harder, but they are a lot more points. So it makes a lot of sense to it gives a lot of advantage if you get to solve the harder problems. That's one of the things. Maybe the points should be closer, or maybe the problem distribution should be over a larger rating.
Oh, so maybe in the future, I don't know, something like a higher rating range between the easiest and the hardest problem?
I think that would be better, because otherwise, the easier problems are nearly as hard as the harder problems. It's quite hilarious.
It makes sense, yeah. Yeah, actually, when I first saw those problems, I thought you guys won't be able to touch all of them. But since I underestimated you, so those seem to be just suitable. But of course, some more difficult problems, especially for you guys, two very talented contestants like you. Of course, it makes a lot of sense to have more difficult problems and more variety in problem topics and more variety in problem difficulties as well, given that AdCoder is a platform full of very interesting problems. Do you guys want to say something else, or is there another question maybe from the chat? Do you want to share anything else with the chat? Okay, seems like none of you has anything to say, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, so this was for you a very tough competition, a very important lockout in your, let's say, I don't know if it's any rivalry of anything of sort, but of course this friendly rivalry between you two, and hopefully maybe you will have more such competitions in the future. And yeah, congratulations to both of the contestants. You did a very good job, and you also deserve the entire admiration for the effort you put and the practice you put toward getting to this level, as well as the results you will have in the future. So you deserve this shout out and another shout out. I think this is the first one you guys hear since you were focused on the dualist you too. So okay. In this case, if there are no more other questions, then I guess we'll be calling it a day in terms of the stream. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. And in this case, see you guys next time. And thank you all for participating, and thank you for letting me host this video and for hosting this lockout. And I hope everyone enjoyed watching those two amazing contestants compete for this lockout duel. So thank you for joining the stream and see you next time.
Congratulations to Dominator.
Congratulations as well.